Hi everybody. Today's going to be a different video. Normally I talk about the writing and my process between novel and scripts, but today I'm going to talk about my other freelancing job, which is the Script Supervisor. It's not a surprise to me that not a lot of people know what a Script Supervisor does. You probably notice on the credits screen that says Script Supervisor so-and-so. But what is a Script Supervisor? I'll tell you what it is. They are in charge of continuity. Pretty much that's what a script supervisor does. One thing is continuity, so making sure that between each camera angle in one scene, the wide, the medium close-up, and then the close-up, that the actors are delivering their lines correctly, the actors are moving and delivering their lines correctly, and everything in the background looks the same between each camera setup. So that's pretty much my job. On top of making sure that continuity looks fluid between each camera setup, I'm in charge of making sure that the actresses or the actors look the same. A lot of times we shoot the same scene in a different day. When that happens, you have to make sure that the wardrobe looks the same, that the makeup looks the same, and that they're wearing the right accessories, the right earrings. They have the right, if it's an action sequence and they have a fight scene, they have the right bruise on the right side of the cheek. Now, a lot of you guys would think, well, isn't that the wardrobe's job? Isn't that the art direction's job to make sure the background looks the same? Isn't that makeup's job and hair job to make sure that they look the same? Really it is, but you want to have someone there to double check and make sure. There's a lot of good things going on, a lot of scenes that we've been shooting, and if we're doing the same scene 3 days later, they might get confused with whatever with what day we're on, what scene we're on. So it's just handy for the script supervisor to be on set and make sure that A, everyone looks the same, and B, the background looks the same. To make sure that I know all of this, I take a lot of pictures. I usually ask the actors to come to the side, and I take their wardrobe, their makeup, their earrings if they have any, the rings on what hand if they have any, bracelets, hair ties, anything that is going to be shown on camera. I make sure I document, even their shoes, even their socks. Not usually their underwear unless their underwear is on scene. Also, for the background, I do a light pictures of everything in the background. If there's something that's specifically going to be on camera, I make sure I take a detailed picture. Usually I leave the background, the set, and the props to the art direction because I don't want to overstep my bound. A lot of times art direction does ask me for help in making sure that the continuity is correct, and that's when my pictures come in handy. So I'm going to sort of talk about my process in script supervising so you get a better idea of what I do when I'm on set. So what I do is I get a binder like this, and I print out the script like this, and I mark on there all the shots that we are going to be taking, like this. I don't know if you can see the lines on there. When I get the shot list, that's what I do. And I try to ask for the shot list before we actually start shooting because I want to know how many shots we need to take because I have to keep track of that. And I also want to know what I'm going to be looking for. Especially with the shots, I want to make sure that if we're doing a long scene that everything is broken up correctly. I time the script, I read it out loud, and just to see how long it's going to take for each scene that we're going to shoot, especially for the wide shot. And then I also time it just to see how long the film should be, because the editor kind of wants to know as well. And then I take the shooting schedule and I make a note of scenes and whether or not the wardrobe's going to be the same on each scene, and like just to make sure that continuity is going to be okay from day to day. When I'm on set, I use this paperwork, which is my film continuity notes, and I write down the information of like where we're shooting, what filters being put on the camera, and then I enter in the shots, the takes, the lenses that were used on the camera, what aperture we're shooting at. I time each take from action to cut just to see how long the scene will be or how long each angle lasted, just so the editor knows, okay, I'm only looking for this time from this time frame. And then I write whether it was a good take. I would say if it was the best take, I would write print, because back in the day we had film cameras, not digital cameras, and when you wanted to have that specific take, you would say print that, and they would develop only that take out of all of the takes that they took on that roll. So print it, I mean, it literally is printing the film. So I would write print, and if it was not good, I would write NG, not good. Sometimes I would get the remarks saying, oh, that was okay. I would write okay, just so the editor knows, alright, if the print was missing a piece in the scene, let's go look at the okays, or let's go look at the goods, because that way, you know, we know that there was something good in that scene. And I usually make a note of it on my notes saying like, oh, that this line was delivered great, but the rest of the take was trash, or something like that. And then at the end of the day, I don't have any of the forms with me, unfortunately. At the end of the day, I take in everything that we did that day, and I write down all the good takes that we had, and I write down all the times that we've done with each scene, and I tally everything up, and I write down all the scenes that we have left to shoot, all the shots that we have left to shoot, how much time is left on the film according to my estimate in the beginning, and how many pages we need to film. And that gets delivered to the assistant director or the producer on set, and they take it in just so that they have that information of, okay, what did we shoot today, how much more do we need to shoot, and if we need to do any reshoots. That's pretty much my day, and I repeat every single day. Even if it's the same set, I'm coming back on with my camera, I'm taking the pictures. It's a very elaborate process just to make sure that everything looks and flows correctly when it comes to editing. And I feel like, you know, when you watch TV, when you watch movies, and you see like a discontinuity, it really brings you out of the film or the show. It really brings me out of the show. If I'm watching something and I notice that, like, say, this is what I look now, and then the next take, somebody comes in, looks like this, and then it goes back to this again, it throws me off completely, because then I know, okay, this was shot, this isn't, you know, like, when you watch a movie, you want to escape, and then, if you're watching a movie and something like that happens, you're back to reality again, and you're like, oh, I'm just watching something that somebody shot, like somebody filmed this and they made a mistake, or they didn't choose the right take, or somebody forgot to mention, hey, the hair wasn't over the shoulder in that last shot. I really take pride in the job that I do, and I work my damn butt off to make sure that the film comes out wonderful. Like, if I work on a film, I don't want to see any discontinuity. And if there was a discontinuity that was caught, I take it personally that, you know, I didn't do my job right. And a lot of the times when that does happen, and I get told, like, hey, we made a mistake, I feel bad about it. And a lot of the directors and the editors, they're pretty chill about it. They're like, oh, we can work around it, no big deal, don't worry about it. But, you know, that's my job. That's what I was there for. I'm supposed to pay attention to those things. So, kind of wanted to tell you about the Script Supervisor. Please don't overlook that role on your set. Make sure you always have somebody there, because as a director, as a producer, you have a lot on your mind. You don't want to have to worry about continuity. You don't want to have to worry about making sure that wardrobe is correct every time. You just want to have to be able to direct your actors, to be able to make sure that the scene looks great, and be able to work with your DP and just make a film. I feel like this is a audition piece of like, oh, please pick me for your next film. Well, that's not really it. I kind of just wanted to like highlight this role because it doesn't really get a lot of recognition. A lot of people are just like, oh, it's just a script supervisor. Hello. Without us, your film would be like super full of continuity errors. Just remember, when you're hiring crew members, think about the script supervisor, think about the work that they put into it, all the supplies that they buy, pay them well. Have a good day.